Hi everyone, it's me Louie and welcome to a new video. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up delivery rates by distance in your Shopify store. This is particularly useful if your delivery partner is also charging you delivery rates by distance. So if you're thinking of setting this up for your store, then make sure to stay tuned for this video. First of all, why would you need a separate setup for delivery rates by distance? The reason for this is that in the default Shopify shipping section, you can only find the delivery rate setup via two ways. Let's look at the two. Okay, so if you click here, you can see that the only two ways you can set up the delivery fee is either by weight or price. But you can't see the option for setting the delivery rates by distance here. And that's only because Shopify doesn't actually provide it at its core. So the only way you can set up delivery rates by distance is by using a third-party app. You can find this app on the Shopify store. It is called Zapiet Delivery Rates by distance, or you can just look for Zapiet first. And then you can locate the app. It's right here, Delivery Rates by distance. Then add the app to your store and then install it. Okay, so the Zapiet app comes with a 14-day free trial, and after that, you'll be charged $10 a month should you decide to go for the premium plan. Okay, so once you're done with the install, you'll come to this dashboard where you can do some final configuration before your customers can start seeing these rates. Okay, so what you want to do is configure both the locations and rates and settings. Okay, these are the most important two configurations, and then if needed you can also configure the exceptions. Okay, let's start with the locations and rates. Alright, so on this page you want to key in the locations that you will be delivering from, and then placing the rates for deliveries from those locations. By default, this app will sync all the locations that you have keyed in through your Shopify settings. Okay, so I have one warehouse address here that I've keyed in, but if you have multiple locations, then you can create another location by clicking on this button. Okay, so but since I already have one configured here, I'll just click on this one. Alright, so just do a quick check to see if the location address is absolutely correct before moving on to setting the rates. Okay, so here you can see there are also price based as well as weight based. Okay, so you can configure the rates based on what your delivery partner is charging you. First, let us take a look at how price based rates work. As you can see here, by default there are already two different price based rates set up. Okay, so delivery up to 5 km and then delivery above 5 km. Okay, so you can configure the rates within each of these. Let's start with the delivery up to 5 km. Of course, you can configure a different radius depending on your needs and how your delivery provider charges you. Okay, so here is where you can set up the rates for delivery up to 5 km. So you can change this to 10 km or any distance depending on what your rates are like from your delivery partner. Okay, so here are where you set the limits. Okay, so remember that this is for configuration for price based delivery rate. Okay, so you can set a minimum order if you wish, okay, and a maximum order, but normally, you know, you should accommodate for all product prices. Okay, so but if in your case, you know, you want to only offer this service for products above a certain price range, then feel free to adjust this accordingly. Okay. And then here, you also have a minimum distance and a maximum distance. Okay, minimum distance, it's the distance between the location, okay, that you have set up earlier, and the final location. Okay, and then this is the maximum distance. Okay, so let's say your maximum distance is 3 km, then you can adjust it accordingly. Okay, so anything within this range, any distance within this range, what's the price that you will charge your customer? Okay, so here's where you can add the pricing. Okay, you have a base delivery price. Okay, let's say it's 10 km, 10 ringgit, and then the delivery price per kilometer. Okay, so this means this is the base rate. Okay, base rate is from 0 km, and then anything above that, okay, it will be charged at this amount per km. Okay, so for example, if I want to provide a flat rate between 0 and 5 km, meaning to say if the customer is located 1 km away, I want to charge 10 ringgit, 2 km away, same price, and so on, then I'll leave this at 0. Okay, but let's say if I want to charge the customer a base rate of 10 ringgit, and then the price will go up with every km, then you want to adjust this. Okay, so let's say if the base price is 10 ringgit, and then if the customer is 1 km away, then it will be 11 ringgit. You want to place a 1 here. Okay, so it becomes 11. Okay, for the 1 km distance. Okay, and then let's say the customer is at 5 km, then 10 plus 5, 15 ringgit. Okay, so this is the base, basically how you can configure this. Okay, so same thing with above 5 km. All you have to do is come in and then place the base rate and then the delivery price per km. Okay, make sure to save the rate once you have done everything. Alright, so the next price configuration I want to show you is the one by weight. Okay, so you go back to the location and then look for the weight. Okay, so this is much less common, but the setup is similar. Okay, so add a weight base rate. Alright, so you want to give it a name, so maybe you can do weight based delivery up to 5 km, for example. This is the setup that you want. So the parameters here, instead of having price, you have weight. Okay, so that much should be quite obvious. So what's the minimum order weight and what's the maximum order weight? So for example, you only offer this particular option if the item is huge, for example. Okay, let's say it is a 10 kg item, but we limit to 100 kg. Okay, and then the distance covered 0, 10 to 5 km. Okay, then again the same thing here. You have a base delivery rate and then you can add the price per km. Okay, so you can place the base rate maybe 30 ringgit, and then if you want to charge based on the km, then you can add more, maybe 5 ringgit per km. Or if you want to charge just a flat rate across the entire radius, then you can leave this at 0. Okay, so it's up to you what the pricing is like. Okay, so the main thing is to make sure that it syncs with whatever the prices your delivery partner is charging you. Or if you want to, give your customers some promotions, you can do that here as well. Okay, so once everything is set up, then click on create rate to save that rate. Alright, so that's basically how you can configure price-based as well as weight-based delivery rates by distance. Okay, so the last couple of things we want to do is go to the settings. Alright, so here you want to do some basic configuration, like making sure that your units are correct. Also, I'm based in Malaysia, we use KMs, which is the default, so that works for me. But if you're based somewhere else and you use miles, make sure to update that. Okay, so it's the weight unit, distance calculation, so how should this be calculated? Okay, so this configuration depend on how your shipping partner is doing it. Okay, so this does make a difference, this as well. Okay, so what route would you take? And then any driving restrictions. Okay, so these are configurations that you want to check out with your delivery partner first. Okay, currency, okay, usually it defaults to the store's currency. Then symbol, okay, partial address matching. Okay, so it means that if we can't find your customer's full address, then you know they make the best guess. Okay, then this address provider. Okay, so you can use any of these maps. Again, do check with your service provider. Okay, and then finally, in an integration, so Zapiet is a family of apps. So if you have store pickup enabled, you can check yes here. I don't, so I'll just leave it at no. Okay, so once everything looks good, make sure to save it. Okay, so one last thing is to also make sure that the app is enabled. Okay, click on enable here. But there's also one more thing I need to let you know regarding this app, as well as any apps that can calculate rates by distance, is that you need to make sure that your plan includes carrier calculated shipping. Okay, so typically if you don't want to pay for this, it's a monthly fee of $25 a month to Shopify. But let's say you don't want to pay this fee, what you can do is opt for an annual plan. So a Shopify annual plan will allow you to take advantage of carrier calculated shipping feature for free. Okay, so if you're planning to use this app, that's just something that you need to take note of. Alright, so the last thing we want to take a look at is the exceptions. Okay, click here. Alright, so exceptions are where you want to kind of deviate from your typical rates that, you know, we've just configured the price base, weight base. So here it says here, make an exception for your favorite customer or that house in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so if you want to provide them with a special rate, this is where you can do it. Okay, so I have one test exception here, so let's take a look at how it's configured. Okay, so here if you want to configure this, place the name, location, which is the warehouse or, you know, the delivery location, and then enable the status, place the address in. Okay, just okay, so whatever the address is here, okay, and this is the customer, okay, this particular address, you will only charge them the rate, the fixed rate. Okay, so means to say that if you have one fixed rate that you have configured earlier, maybe you want to give them discount instead of like charging the normal rates. Maybe, for example, if they live 10 km away, normally it costs 20 ringgit. But let's say this is your very loyal customer, they're always ordering from you in bulk, you just want to make them happy, you know, instead of 20 ringgit, you say, okay, no matter what, we're just gonna charge you 15 ringgit. Okay, so you can place it here. Okay, say, okay, 15 ringgit, that's it, and then you can save it. And so whenever this customer, any customer that places this particular address, okay, they can get this special rate. Okay, so that's basically how you can configure delivery rates by distance in your Shopify store. I've guided you through how to set up the Zapiet app, so you can either charge based on price or weight, as well as add exceptions to the plan. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this video, do give this video a thumbs up, and if you want more content like this, do make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I really hope to see you in my next one. Bye bye.